Alright, hey everybody. So yeah, sorry about the camera lighting situation over here, but yeah, I'm on vacation right now, but I thought I'd bring you guys a video, a recap of one of the games of my Montreal tournament. I'm actually gonna go back to the first game. I played the Montreal tournament a few weeks ago, in the end of May 2022, and it was a really bad tournament for me, but I'm going to bring you guys recaps of the games just so you guys see what happens, or what happened, and what went wrong, what went right, etc., etc. And yeah, so this is the first game I played. This is against Libero Paolella, player from Toronto who has had been around for a really long time and stopped playing like 15 years ago. And yeah, he's come back for some reason now in 2022, and he's rated around, I think, 1500. Um, and when I started this tournament, I was around 2000. So yeah, this is the first pairing, and I start off really nicely here with the rack of BDEIRR. It's always nice to start the tournament, especially a game, but also a tournament with the bingo. So start with buried, and you might notice something very weird about this play, and you might not. Maybe you think it's totally normal, but I actually opened horizontally this game. I will have you guys know that I open games horizontally maybe like I think the stat is like maybe 5% of the time or something. This was a conscious decision. I just decided to play it horizontally. Very normally I would play it vertically, but decided to play horizontally. So I'm sure a lot of you will like that. I'm sure some of you won't like that, but yeah, I played buried. Libero played waiver. I had this interesting rack post bingo draw where it seems like I can play IE and wavery for 25 points, and it seemed like a good play to me, but I also didn't like how it opened the bottom of the board. Um, So I'll show you the comment that I made here. This is a new format that I'm just showing the game that's already been annotated, but I have some comments as well that I will clarify as well during this recording. So I said I didn't want to create row 11 bingo. So if I had played a IE and wavery, which seemed like a good play, I was creating play on um, the 11th row, and not only bingos, just like 5-letter words, whatever. Those would create like a lot of openings and potential bingos on the 12th rank, and I didn't want that to happen, but that's kind of a weird board approach, I would say. Like, there's not much I can do about that potentially happening. But I decided I didn't want to play there. I just wanted to play J. I wanted to take points and reduce Libero's score. Um, if he had to play on the D or F column, it's a bit harder somewhat now to make said plays. So yeah, I decided to play J and keep 4 vowels, which is a questionable move for sure. A G as well as possible. A D2, making EW. But yeah, the main reason is like, okay, I'm playing a lower rated player. I don't want to create an easy X bomb spot, and the plays seem close. So I played J. And he actually burned his blank off to play squat. Interestingly, I think if I had played IE or a G, he would have actually played aqua for 33 and would have kept his blank. So in this particular instance, maybe I had some inkling as to why to play J over the other moves, but probably just a stroke of luck that he actually just got rid of a lot of potential, burning his blank for only 44 points. But it's potentially justified. The Q is a really bad tile, and it didn't seem to be very many spots for it on this board that scored anything. So yeah, squat comes down. Happy to see that. I decided to play Oidia, but yeah, I could have played Iodide at J4. Now immediately that opens the K column. It also leaves the 11 row open. I liked how Oidia, doesn't take a hook, and the TO is kind of hard to hook. You can hook it with an E, but you can't hook it with an S, for example. So it's not like super dangerous to open the 12 row. But like I said earlier, like a play happened on the 10 row now. Play happened on 11 row, and 12 rows open for business. So yeah, potentially my reasoning for not playing IE was wrong, because this did end up happening anyway. I was trying to prevent it, but yeah, Iodide leaves things open potentially, just short term. Like it's possible that plays can then be made to constrict the board further, but it also gets rid of two I's, which is nice. Oidia does that as well, but it keeps two E's, whereas Iodide keeps an A and an E, so a better leave. Libero plays Prang, and I draw into a 3E bingo of Skeeter, so that comes down, and the game is pretty much over at this point, I would say. It's very hard to come back from over 100 down, especially on a board like this. So yeah, we'll see what Libero tries to do. He plays near for 20, and immediately I notice the hook, a near. Important to notice those hooks immediately, because sometimes you'll forget about them, or you won't notice them immediately, and you'll never notice them because your focus goes elsewhere. But I can't do anything about the near hook, so I play Opioid. It's funny, I could have played Oidia again in the same spot, which was also a good play, but Opioid scoring 26. It's pretty nice. Oidia has the added benefit, again, of not taking a hook, so now there's actually after Oidia, there's no end column bingos. So it's definitely a play that you should consider, and it would have been really funny to play Oidia 4 spots on top of the other Oidia. But I decided to take the points, not be scared, because there's already an S hook here, and there's already the near possible stuff, so I didn't really want to sacrifice too much. Libero tries to open the bottom of the board with Boa, good play, but I drew the X. Perfect timing. Vox just kills everything. It blocks all the 14 row that was just opened. Prang's plays are still possible, but they're no longer a concern as much because they will no longer open a juicy 15 row bingo lane. So like the worst case scenario is he plays word ending in maybe ST or SE, which forks the board, opening up the O column and also the 15 row. But now that sort of play wouldn't really open the 15 row for bingos. So I would potentially just be able to try and block the O column instead if I'm worried about a second bingo. So yeah, sweet play, and I said sweet because that was Libero's rack. He makes a nice play of Weist. Luckily that doesn't take any hooks, so I'm not worried about the O column anymore. And I decide to just take my biggest score of Leaf, keep 3 vowels, but at least they're not duplicate vowels. But yeah, just take the points here, pretty much ending the game. The biggest concern was obviously the 15 row, and scored 31, dealt with it, and things should be easy from now on. Cozy for 34 comes down, which again further constricts things. And of course opioids is still a threat here. So what I decide to do here is play Guaco, which pretty much handles the opioids threat. I mean, you could still, I guess, play a bingo with 2 S's in it, one at N4 and one at N7, but now opioids, even though I do have an S, is blocked. But there were 2 other S's unseen, so my S is not as valuable, and I'm not trying to necessarily bingo here. But I could have left it open. And yeah, the suggestion that I put in the comments of just maybe Zoa for 17, that scores 9 more points. Obviously it leaves the G, leaves the U, but balances things okay, and scores some points. So yeah, that's possibly a thing. It also removes the threat of potential Z plays down the line, but since I have an S, I'm sort of inviting him to try and set up an S on the O column, and then I'll just hammer him with my own S. So he plays Con, and at this point I decide to get a bit cheeky with it, and I play a word that could be a word, but I knew it wasn't, and I play it with confidence, and yeah, I got away with it. I mean, he could have challenged, and I still probably would have won the game. But I threw caution to the wind here a bit and decided that it was very unlikely he would challenge this, I guess, Jewish-looking word. knowing that I was Jewish, I guess. Yeah, there are lots of spellings of the plural of talit, but this is not one acceptable variant of it. This is a phony, and yeah, I got it by. So things going really well in this game. I draw the other blank, and I think, yeah, I play un. I could have, yeah, un is fine. Um, I just leave some letters in the bag and try to balance as much as I can. He plays Yond. He told me after the game he probably should have played in the on the 6 row spot just because of what I did next, which was Mag. But this was actually a mistake. This is the end game, and I only have. I actually don't have a single outplay. I think with FU and blank here, um, if I'm not mistaken. But I decided I would just take the points and see what he did. But yeah, I'm supposed to play Naif with the blank I at 2B, and that actually creates a spot for Mug, and there's another spot for Mug. Where's the other spot for Mug? Oh yeah, Grum. So it allows me to play Grum if the spot over here gets blocked. So that's a really nice endgame. But instead I played Mag, and I actually ended up doing better than uh, than the optimal endgame because Libero gave me an outplay of Snuff. So yeah, that worked out nicely, and I win this game 450 to 292. So this was the first game of the tournament, and it seemed pretty good. Win by 158, get a phony bye, just coast to victory. That was the name of the game. And yeah, that's it. That's my coverage of the first game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is a new format. Let me know what you think about this way of reviewing the game. It's more efficient for sure, but it also might have some drawbacks, and willing to hear everybody's feedback and approval or lack thereof. And yeah, hopefully in the next video I'll have the lighting situation potentially sorted here. And yeah, see you guys soon.